Whether it's a young boxer who learned how to walk here in Spokane, or a woman making history in Lake Coeur.
From what I can tell, Coeur d'Alene was never swum before, the whole lane.
The Inland Northwest is full of amazing people.
It's fun to bring something back to life.
Join Crim 2 News as we celebrate the best of people in this Inland Northbest special.
It kind of made me go, oh wow.
Here at Crim 2 News, we love to celebrate the best of the Inland Northwest. And it's not just the place we all call home, but it's the people who make up our community. Thanks for joining us. I'm Channing Curtis. And join us for this Inland Northbest special as we share some of our favorite stories about people who are doing incredible things. For our first story, Mark Hanrahan introduces us to a young boxer whose life was forever changed by doctors at Shriners Hospital in Spokane.
It's good to have you back, Josh.
Thank you.
Through the years, Rick Welliver's watched plenty of aspiring boxers step into the ring of his downtown Spokane gym. They all have stories, few as compelling as Jacobo Malea's.
He's what's right about our country. He's what's right about the world. He's a good kid.
Jacobo's new to the sport, but Welliver sees promise in his punching ability. One punch in particular.
He's got a great jab. He's got a great jab. It's a natural punch for him.
When you consider what he's been through, it's perhaps Jacobo's footwork that's even more impressive. When he was a young boy living in Tanzania, he broke his lower leg, and it was never properly treated.
So you were a young kid when your leg was broken?
Yeah, I was really young.
And it was broken pretty bad?
Yeah, it was really, really bad. It was like, I don't know, it was like a little S, kind of, like, that's the best I could describe it.
So could you walk on it?
I could, and I could run on it too. So, yeah, I could basically do like everything normal, but the leg was just messed up.
Video from the motion analysis lab at Shriners Hospital shows how young Jacobo was walking when he arrived in Spokane. It's jarring to watch, but Jacobo says he wasn't in pain. Still, as he recalls, doctors in Tanzania didn't think they could fix it.
The doctors wanted to say that there's no way to fix it other than to just cut off the leg, but my mom didn't want that, so we moved over here and came over to Shriners Hospital and they fixed me up.
But you said the doctors in Africa wanted to cut your lower leg off.
Yeah, they wanted to, because they said that there was no other way to fix it.
It's one of the more extreme cases.
Dr. Brian Tompkins, an orthopedic surgeon at Shriners, still remembers when Jacobo's family showed up at the hospital.
We looked at him and kind of said, well, yeah, we can make you walk better again.
He says Jacobo broke his tibia, the weight-bearing bone in his lower leg, and likely had a bone infection at some point too. Because it never properly healed, he'd adapted and was walking on the non-weight-bearing bone in his lower leg, the fibula. Fixing his leg took several procedures.
We basically put the two ends that weren't connected, get that to heal back together with the surgery, and then we had to lengthen the bone back out over time to make it the same size as the other side.
The result is remarkable. Here's Jacobo back in the motion analysis lab after his final procedure. His leg is straight and he's able to run and change directions just like any other kid his age. The product of surgeries, months of recovery, and countless hours of physical therapy.
I don't know, I just got used to it, so like whatever they tell me to do, I just do it so I could just get better and just try to be normal like everybody else.
When you see him today versus when he came in here, how's that make you feel?
Oh, it's so much fun. I mean, that's why we work here, right? Like these kids, we've given them a new life.
I'm pretty sure this one's from Africa.
He'll always have the scars, but his leg has long since healed, and he's now focused on his path forward.
I don't know how to explain, like, I just found myself here.
From one incredible athlete to another, Kim Bowler recently became the first person ever to swim the length of Lake Coeur. Photographer Dave Sommers caught up with Kim to talk about taking on the distance.
When I was swimming, I thought to myself, I'm never doing this again, ever. I knew that, from what I can tell, Coeur d'Alene was never swum before, the whole length. And so I thought, you know, it would be really cool to be the first one to do that. I started at Hayburn State Park on the south end and then finished at Tubbs Hill Beach, 24 miles. It took me 16 hours and 38 minutes. Started at just after 4 p.m. on Sunday. And then went through the night and finished Monday at 8:40 a.m. That was my longest swim. Yeah, last year I swam in Lake Ponderay and I did a 20K, about 12 miles, so this is double that. It took me at least a year of really looking at all the details that go into it and planning where I wanted to start and stop and gathering people. I sort of jokingly say that the planning for the swim was harder than the swim itself. because it just takes so much to pull together. And in order to do it the right way so that it can be ratified and following the right rules, I couldn't touch the boat intentionally or anyone around me. No wetsuit, no fins, nothing to aid, like a swim buoy to aid along the way. Some boat traffic starting out, but then once the nighttime came, I didn't even have to worry about boats anymore. I was worried about nighttime. I didn't know what to expect. I've never swam in the night before, and so I didn't know, what I see. Things down there, shadows, would I be scared? Would I run into stuff that I couldn't see? But it was the most perfect night. It was actually my favorite part of the whole swim. I felt pretty good throughout. Definitely near the end, my arms felt very sluggish and hard to even lift out of the water. But I never wanted to stop. I never thought to myself, oh, I just want to get on the boat, or there was points where I was like, I'm sick of this. I wish the swimming was over, but yeah, never a thought of I'm ready to quit. Looking back a week later, I already got the bug to try something else, and I don't know yet what that is, but I definitely don't feel like I'm finished with this. I think I want to do some other long distance, lakes, rivers, who knows what, but yeah.
English Channel.
Yeah, I mean, if I had the opportunity, I would definitely do that, yeah.
What an inspiration. It's something that you could say of this next story as well. A Spokane man diagnosed with cancer is happy to be alive and bringing laughter in what can be a dark time.
What's 10 feet long and bald? A conga line at the cancer ward.
Those are the kind of jokes you're going to tell on the show today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And who are you to make fun of cancer?
I have cancer. Hey, welcome to Finding Chemo. I'm Nick Tyson. I'm your host, and we're here with the fabulous Eric Payne.
Hi, Nick.
My producer. I've been doing comedy for about 35 years. I started in Los Angeles back in the olden days at the Comedy Store, doing open mics and all over the place. And then I moved back to Spokane. I was in radio for a long time, too. I worked at KLOS in Los Angeles, did a morning show there. And after that, it was just, work. I did it, that's all I did for probably 15 years, all over the country, US, Canada, all over the place. Got the first diagnosis last May. My doctor found out that I had prostate cancer. And then when they find out you've got one kind of cancer, they also do a full body scan, and they also found a lung cancer. I was having some other issues, and they diagnosed me in July with lung cancer, and then about a month after that, they told me that I have kidney cancer too.
And so what's the point of the podcast?
Well, the point of the podcast is basically that we make fun of cancer, but we also are very informative. We've got people we interview, nurses, doctors, people in the fight, support people.
Insurance people. It's a very expensive thing to go through, so then people need guidance
people.
for that.
Yep.
You and I have known each other for a zillion years and fell out of touch for a little while as our lives went on and we moved around and that sort of thing. But having that kind of history together, it's really been a treat.
And today is our 31st anniversary.
Happy anniversary, darling. Well, Nick and I reconnected about a couple years ago, when I moved back into town and caught up with each other. And he told me what was going on with him, and I said, "Well, I've got some experience in production. Why don't we put a podcast together? Let us talk about it and get it out there for the world to listen to." It's been a real nice way to address the issue in our own way. I think finding humor in what's an otherwise dark situation is a perfectly human way to cope with it. It's no laughing matter, but come on, it is. As a great writer once said, I've got to laugh because I know I'm going to die.
I'm doing good. I get exercise, I swim, I go to wild walls downtown, I climb walls and all that. But the main thing is to keep active and be positive, and that's it. Hey, how many cancer patients does it take to put in a light bulb?
How many cancer patients does it take to put in a light bulb?
13. One to put in the light bulb, 12 to say how inspiring that was.
Okay, I like that one. That's a good one. I think we'll keep that one.
Let's keep that in the show.
Yes, absolutely.
Students in the Inland Northwest are getting more than just an education.
To create stuff that are going to be used to help other people.
See how the lessons they learn inside the classroom are making a real-world impact. For our next story, we are heading back to school, where the advanced engineering class at Sacagawea Middle School is making a big impact in our community. Mark Hanrahan visited the class to see how their latest creation is helping the SWAT team in the field. it's going to be like an exoskeleton.
We have like the square of the camera.
Right now, the kids are all in different groups. Draw it out, and then we'll build it.
In Kim Taylor's advanced engineering class at Sacagawea Middle School, ideas come to life.
Do you guys have any drawings?
We have what's called direct drive.
Instead of textbooks and presentations, students use CAD programs and 3D printers to turn sketches into reality.
This is the one that we are printing for the SWAT team.
And their creations are far more than just concepts.
And they lay it on a warm bed.
These middle schoolers are designing and making tools that Spokane police officers use on the streets.
It's fantastic. So they get to meet and know all the different officers. They get to work with them. And then they get to see something that they actually made as an 8th grader come to fruition, actually work. I don't even know what to tell you. They can tell you.
This class is just really interesting.
It's like much more hands-on. It's my favorite class.
To create stuff that are going to be used to help other people.
Taylor's students have designed and printed grasping mechanisms for the bomb squad's robot so it can do things like open doors and pick up keys. And just recently, her class came up with a solution for the SWAT team. Corporal Anthony Guzzo now keeps that creation in the back of his cruiser. It's a 3D printed box specifically designed to hold the SWAT team's drones.
They actually came up with the box itself.
The box with the drone inside is then mounted on an extendable pole. It allows officers to use the drone's powerful cameras in situations where it's not feasible to fly. Corporal Guzzo says he tried to create the box on his own, but then turned to Taylor's class for help, and they took it from there.
Knew exactly what I wanted. They're taking measurements, and there must have been in that first 5 minutes 6 or 7 different ideas that went out as to how they were going to make this happen.
Krem 2 was there as police put the students' creation to use just last month. A robbery suspect was holed up inside an RV in North Spokane. That's Corporal Guzzo using the middle schooler's creation to use the drone to see inside the camper, where the thermal imaging cameras showed them exactly where the suspect was hiding.
It was incredible to see them get to be faced with a real world problem, and then all the way through from design to printing to actually being able to watch that clip from the RV and see things that they had created in their classroom at the middle school level actually used for real life stuff.
The drone is about that large. But
8th grader Josh Souders did the bulk of the work on the creation.
Me too, I know.
One prototype, a lot of measurements, and 70+ hours of 3D printing later, it was ready for use.
It was definitely exciting. It kind of made me go, oh wow, my thing is actually being used out in the field, in the real world to help.
The fact that your device could potentially help protect officers in the field, how does that make you feel?
It's great.
So here's the thing.
Taylor urges her students to keep dreaming and keep creating.
And it has to stay exactly where it is.
She wants to show them what they learn here translates to life outside the classroom. As an educator, she says, that's invaluable.
Incredible, the best. I feel like it is the absolute way to teach. For the rest of their lives, they'll remember what they were able to accomplish and who they were able to help.
As our Inland Northbest special continues, see how a local artist is using his craft to preserve our region's history.
We're gonna have a good show!
Plus, the man behind the magic at Silverwood Theme Park. If you've lived in the Inland Northwest for a while, you've likely seen the handiwork of the next artist that we want to feature. His name is Denny Westoff, and he's preserving our region's history with every single brushstroke.
It's fun to bring something back to life. This piece of wood would get burned at the bonfire. This would get scrapped, and before you know it, it's going to be a fishing sign. I love to take the old truck doors mostly and the old rusty metal and just give them just absolutely a new purpose, I just painted this last night. This here, I met an old guy in Montana, and he just dropped it off to me one day. I knew him about 10 minutes, and he says, do something with this. I do a lot of splash art on all the windows for Christmas, the holidays. And geez, I did probably 130, 140 windows last Christmas. Cheney, a lot of Chewelah, Newport, Colville. End up doing 1 or 2 window jobs in a town, and before you know it, you're doing 8 or 10. it's a dying art, you know, what we're doing. Locally, there's not, you know, a whole bunch of us, but for the most part, somebody that's really out there honestly trying to make a living is pretty rare. Most people are doing it as a hobby, but we can't give up. In Osborne, Idaho, just 10 minutes up the road, I had stopped in there. They got this big, you know, 20, 30-foot neon sign can that's been blank for years, so they're pretty excited. The whole community's already talking about it. I've always drawn just since I was a young kid, then one thing led to the next. In junior high and high school, I was screen printing and stuff on the side at my mom's couch, you know, and doing little family reunion things. And then after that, I just kept drawing, kept painting, and so on. And then, yeah, just led from there. It's something you have to prove every day because they don't really necessarily need this in the tough times, but maybe it brings them to a happy place, you know. To give that opportunity, you know, to have something like this that was laying out in the grass or these old rusty truck doors here, to give them a purpose again, it's pretty cool. And to see people love it, you know. I mean, they'll come up and want me to put their family names or their farm names and stuff on it, you know, something that Grandma and Grandpa had. That there is something neat to be able to do. If it, as a surface, we can paint on it, hopefully, you know, and give it some character.
Now, it really is magical, some of the things that Denny is able to do. And speaking of magic, let's head out to Silverwood, where our photographer Dave Sommers introduces us to the park's resident magician.
Wesley, take any card out of the deck and I'll tell you what it is. Two of spades.
I was teching shows here back in the 90s, running the lights and sound.
Now, I've seen that card, Wesley, so let's pick a different one. Now, I'm not going to influence your decision. Completely free choice. Two of spades? Yeah, let's pick one I haven't seen, Wes. All right.
On a dare in 2000, became a magician and been doing it ever since.
Take a different card, but don't show it to me, man. It's a trick. Hold it up really high so all these people over here can see it. Get everybody, yeah, okay, yeah, all right. Now, folks, this is without a doubt the world's most difficult card trick. One-handed nine of diamonds for Wesley. Here we go. No pressure. We're gonna have a good show! Woo!
Phantasm started as we wanted to do something different than the traditional magic show, to where it's just trick, 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 poof, poof, appear and smoke, and then, you know, go to the ending. We wanted to tell a story with ours. My heroes, David Copperfield. Yeah, a lot of magicians don't like David Copperfield. I don't understand why. He is the best, period. So Isaiah does the shows in here on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. He was my apprentice. He came in here when he was 14, and then now he's soloing. It's always a work in progress. We've got 2 new illusions we're still trying to implement in the show right now. We got a brand new Harley Davidson production.
All of the different elements that we bring together in culmination of what we now call Phantasm has been, yeah, it's super cool to see all of those elements come together and bring those into my own show as well.
My favorite's getting the same reaction from the 4-year-old in the family as we do from, you know, the mom and the dad or the uncle. They actually will light up too. It's the family business at this point. Like,
right.
You couldn't make it more magical than that.
Best job in the world.
Still ahead, a local teen with some famous musical roots is now looking to make her own splash in the music industry.
Got big ideas and half the rent. There must be something greater.
My name is Caroline Carlisle. I am 15. I am a musician, a singer-songwriter, and an entertainer. I have been playing in my band for about 4 years now that I founded with my younger brother who plays all the instruments, and he's 12.
Who are we? Small Town String! Got big ideas and half the rent. There must be something greater.
Me and my brother have been playing together as long as we've had our instruments. Music has been the greatest teacher for me. I've learned a lot about like social skills and a lot about life and smarts like that.
My niece and nephew are here tonight.
My Aunt Brandy, she be doing some singing sometimes and some music stuff sometimes. Nobody really knows about her though.
Caroline, before the big event, if you want to try this out on my little audience first.
She has been, besides my parents, probably one of the biggest support, like life supports for my music and my career and me as a person.
The thing about all these people I'm going to tell you about is every single one of them's on your side.
I feel like I am really fortunate because it's almost like I am protected from some of the really, really awful things that the music scene can get you into. But because she has experienced some of them first, I don't have to, and I can just really focus on the so many more positive things that this industry has to offer.
Summer's dance around the bend, just flying.
Our family has always been very centered about giving back. Because of the amazing opportunities that we have, we really want to make sure that we can give back to our community and to the people around us. And so we created the Kettle River Music Festival Foundation, which is supporting music in rural areas, specifically supporting kids in music in rural areas.
California, going home.
We're on tour this summer. Come see a concert. It'll be super fun, I promise.
We have many more Inland Northbest stories available for you to watch right now on Crim 2+. To find them, just navigate to the News tab at the top of the screen, then scroll down to our Inland Northbest playlist. If you don't have Crim 2+ yet, you can download it right now on Roku or your Amazon Fire Stick. I'm Channing Curtis. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to keep it on Crim 2 for more Inland Northbest stories.